Can you tell me a little bit about your time as a student at Nipher?
Okay. All right. Well, it actually kind of begins before that. All right. In this building in 1954, my grandfather, Robert Charles Reed, was one of the first four black teachers in the Kirkwood School District.
They had 1,500 students march in a parade, and this wasn't just Kirkwood Public School students. It also included students from Concordia Lutheran School and St. Peter's Catholic School. The 1,500 students marched from what is called the Pittman School down Kirkwood Road. They were led by a band. We had the mayor at the time, it was here of course, and the governor of Missouri was here, as well as all of the townspeople cheering those students on to the new Kirkwood High School.
There were a lot of really neat people here, a lot of neat kids. The joke among people who come up to me as an assistant principal is, do you remember me? You probably don't, because I never got in trouble.
There was this seal, which is now framed outside of the North Gym, but there was this seal, and my mom, who also attended Nipher, used to tell me that it was disrespectful to walk over the seal, so you had to walk around it or step over it. So I did that all 3 years.
Well, just the fact that it used to be two buildings, you know, a junior high and a high school, and then that they connected them is interesting because it gives our building a different feel because of it being two separate buildings and so old.
The principal, Merle Moore, when he first came to Kirkwood, he was rooming with a friend that went with Missouri Pacific Railroad. And he called Merle and he said, "We're phasing out the steam engines. Would you like one of the bells off of it?" He not only brought the bell, he brought it just as you see it, mounted with the wheels. And it stood probably for 2 years in the hallway. And then about the third year, somebody said, that would be a great trophy for the Turkey Day game. And so that's how that came about.
I can envision playing the Turkey Day game out here in back of the building. It's sort of hard to envision that, but it was done.
Every track in St. Louis County and probably every track in Missouri is a 1/4 mile track. They didn't quite have room for that. This is a 1/5 mile track. I don't think there's another one in the state like that. So for a mile you went around 5 times, where all the other tracks in the city, probably in the state, were a 1/4 mile, but they couldn't quite, they wanted to put the baseball field in there, which was right at the end of where the track is down there.
I loved the classes, and I got then involved more with socially. One of the girls asked me to sit at a lunch table, and there were several girls there, and that really was nice because then I felt like I had a place.
You know, and a lot of this stuff, when you're here, you don't feel as important, and the things that you feel is so important
Or not.
are really not.
At the Pioneers, Kirkwood, it just is what it is. And so it was a good experience. Sometimes you don't think it is when you're younger. You're just going through and going to school and just trying to get through your daily routine. But when you reflect back, you realize how important it was. And you can appreciate the love and the care that was given to you during your time there.
I think what I want people to remember, it's the people in the building. You know, the building is pretty remarkable. I think even people just driving by Nipher get excited just to see the building itself, but it's really the staff members, the students, our families inside the building that make it special, and that's what I want families to remember, the relationships that they built with staff members here. I want kids to know that they were cared for during their middle school years. Middle school can be a time that, you know, kids are trying to figure out, you know, kind of their path and where they're going, and I just want them to know that they were loved and cared for during their time here.
All right, so with my favorite teacher, Dixon, or Mr. Dixon, it was because like we're both African American, both have locks and stuff, so like he was always there. I could always go to his office, you know, kind of like a brother, or like an older brother. Yeah, that's what it was like. Yeah.
I just like all the teachers. All the teachers are really nice, and
just the people, since everyone here is so nice, and I just love seeing them.
So when I walk into my classes, I look forward to seeing my friends and just having a great time in class.
because I get to make a connection with them that I can't out of school because I have so many sports. So then when I get to see them, I can talk to them.
And one of the neatest things about this building is at the far entrance, the doorstep, it's never changed. And it's concrete, but there's a divot in it from all the kids that have walked into this building for 100 years. And that, talk about leaving a mark, you know, every single kid that walked into this building walked in through those doors and left an indelible mark that they might not be aware that they left. But it's here in the history.
We tend to push everything over and build anew, but this school has good bones, good history. And I think that's good that they're building around the school, around the foundation. And I hope they keep it here, you know. I just think it's important.
This building should always have students in it. This building should always be functional because it's important to all Kirkwood, but it's definitely important to this part of Kirkwood. I get a gleeful joy on Fridays during the school year when I see the kids down there. I think that is so beautiful, where it's Friday and the kids all just go, and it's just so Riverdale and Archie comics, and I know that really is, what can I say, a little over nostalgic, but I love seeing it because that tells me that not only is Nipher viable, it's essential. And that, I don't want that to ever change. I always want kids to be in this building and going to school and say that, hey, I went to Nipher. That's important to me.